I think what people have to understand, there's all this hype about protein and everyone's talking about it and everyone's getting 100 grams.
Yeah.
Guess what? If you're not strength training,
It doesn't mean anything.
it means nothing.
Hey, everybody, I'm Lori Schulweis.
And I'm Jenn Giamo.
And welcome to another episode of Everybody Talks, the podcast where we explore the wide world of wellness. Sometimes we talk to experts, sometimes we just talk to each other, but we're always talking to you. And if you want to watch this episode, go to our YouTube channel at Everybody Talks Podcast.
Every week, we discuss topics from nutrition and exercise to mindfulness and self-care. And today we are talking about nutrition, protein in particular.
That's right. A couple of weeks ago, we had part one of this discussion from a New York Times article that was like the top nutrition lessons, problems, questions of 2025, halfway through the year. And so we tackled some of them, but now we are tackling the big daddy of them all.
Yes.
The number one thing that everybody, if you open up your Instagram, if you open up TikTok, everybody is talking about, wait for it, protein. Protein. It's everywhere. It's in the coffee you drink. It's in oatmeal. It's in cereals. And cottage cheese is the protein answer of your dreams. So
Cottage cheese and yogurt. Is the
cottage
perfect
cheese and yogurt.
combo.
Perfect thing. So tell us, why is there all of a sudden this obsession with protein?
Right? So it's the perfect social media storm. Okay. So you have protein is something that checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
Muscle growth, losing fat, longevity, aging well. Everybody's talking about all these longevity hacks. And influencers, these social media influencers love this because it's such a simple hack, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But this trend really is backed in science. There is really something solid to say about protein, helps keep you satisfied, keeping you full longer. It boosts your metabolism. Again, it helps with muscle repair, building lean muscle mass. So it really does deserve all of the
I love
hype.
the way you say it, like it checks all the boxes. Because
Yeah,
it really,
it does.
You think it's, the way it feels right now, to me, it's just like the cure-all. It's a cure-all for your weight loss. It's a cure-all for your health. It's like, as a lady of certain age, getting older by the day, it really is all the only thing I think about eating enough of during the day.
Yes, but we're going to get into this more.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other things that you need to do. So,
Yeah.
in combination with making sure you get enough protein.
All right, so let's start from the very beginning. How much do we really, really need of this?
Okay.
Of protein.
The RDA says we only need 0.8 grams per kilogram
Okay.
of body weight. Okay. That is based on, I think a lot of these other researchers and doctors believe
Right.
this is really outdated science.
Wow.
It was put in place to avoid malnutrition
Mm.
and deficiencies. So it's like, well, I don't want to just be not malnourished. I want
Right.
to thrive and live well and all of that. So
Is that like the old school
Like the
pyramid that you saw?
kind of,
Right.
it kind of goes along those lines. Yeah. So, I mentioned experts and these different doctors who are out there on social media who are really real doctors and not just influencers, Gabrielle Lyon, Stacey Sims, Dr. Peter Attia, they all suggest 1.2 to 2 grams
Wow.
per kilogram of body weight. And just to clarify that too, it means ideal body weight.
Right.
So if you're 200 pounds, you're not necessarily eating
200 grams of protein. That's a lot of protein.
yeah.
It's hard enough to get in. I mean, I guess I always think that I try to get 100 grams.
Yeah, that's a good
day.
number, 30-ish per
Right.
meal, 33, I
Right.
guess, if you're going, for that. And that's good. And that's,
Right.
if you're more active, you definitely need
Right.
more.
So let's go through the scale. If you need more protein, why? And
Mm-hmm.
if you need a little less, why?
Yeah. So if you're someone who's very sedentary, maybe has a desk job, doesn't really get a lot of activity outside of that, then I would say, the lower number is probably sufficient for you. I'd still say 1 to 1.2,
Wow.
know. And then, the higher number is as we age, our body doesn't respond as well to protein.
Right.
That anabolic resistance kind of, as we age,
Right.
that builds. And so you need more to trigger the same response.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
A
So
little bit.
in your 20s,
Right.
you might have been able to get away with eating
Yeah.
60 grams of protein a day,
But now, as you're getting older, you need more.
yeah, because your body,
Right.
because of that resistance, your body needs more to get the same effect
Right.
that you had when you were in your 20s, right? And you want to make sure also that that protein is dense. Like we talk about nutrient dense foods, protein dense foods are really important.
Right. And
too.
you have a good little calculation to help you figure out if
Yeah.
you're eating the right,
the right
protein
amount,
for
because I
you.
think people think of eggs. I have clients that say, well, I eat eggs for breakfast. And it's like, how many eggs do you have? I have 2. Well, you're gonna need about 30 eggs.
Wow.
So the calculation is if you multiply the grams of protein by
Right.
2 in a food, and if that exceeds the total number of calories, then it's protein dense. So let's take eggs, right?
Right.
So eggs have 6 grams of protein, but
Right.
they only have 70 calories.
Right. So
That
does
is
it
not
have-
a nutrient
no, that is
protein
not.
dense food at all. So something that you do, I know, is add
Yeah,
cottage cheese to
I
your
do.
eggs, like to your scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
That's a great way to boost it.
Right.
Add yogurt to it, or just add extra egg whites. Like yesterday,
Yeah.
I had one like sunny side up egg, and then I had like 4 egg whites around it.
I used to just buy the container of egg
Of
whites,
egg whites?
and then I realized that I actually love the whole egg,
Yeah.
so I stopped
I
doing
mean, it
that.
is
I know
good.
you only still.
You know what? I don't like the taste, so it's weird. Doesn't make any sense, but I could do a sunny side up egg
I love a sunny side
and
up
a
egg.
poached egg, or
Yeah.
like over easy.
Yes, I love a runny yolk.
But I cannot do a scrambled egg or an omelet
'Cause
that
it's
has
yellow?
that. I just don't like it tastes different to me, and I don't like the taste of it. So I like the plain egg whites, but that's
know.
just me.
Yeah, it's just you.
The yolk has value too, nutrition in there as well.
All right, so let's talk about protein just like scientifically. You love the science.
I love the
You love getting
science.
into the science.
A little
of
bit,
things.
a little bit.
So there's something called amino acids. I don't understand what they are, what they do. Why don't you
Yeah.
let us know about
So
that?
basically, amino acids, like this is kind of 101, that protein is made up of amino
Okay.
acids, okay? There's 20 of them that our body needs
Okay.
to function, and it does a lot of things, and I'll get into that. 9 of those are essential. That
Okay.
means that your body doesn't make them.
So
Okay,
when you hear a product says with the 9 essential
9
amino
essential
acids,
amino acids, yes,
then you know. I
Yes.
mean, you should listen to that, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's important because
Yeah.
there's others that are they're called non-essential and conditionally essential. Conditionally essential just means like if you're somebody who's pregnant or recovering from an injury or has an illness, like those are
Oh.
different conditions where you need, where your body makes
Right,
those
right.
on its own. So,
Oh, wow.
but those 9 essential, your body does not make.
Right.
And I just think it's important to know like what they do, right?
Right.
So you're creating neurotransmitters, you're building collagen and elastin, which is your
Right.
skin and your connective
Right.
tissue. Everybody likes to take their collagen, which is
I
great.
know. I was just going to ask you about that. I mean, I supplement my diet with collagen.
Yeah, which is great. That's
Yeah.
fine. But you could also supplement with amino acids.
Right.
Helps to regulate your appetite, your sleep, your mood. Like there's
Right.
so many different things. The detoxification process happens with amino acids.
Yeah.
It helps you to absorb nutrients. So all those other good, healthy foods you're eating, if you don't have the right balance of amino acids, your body's not going to absorb those
Right.
other nutrients, right? So, yeah, I think that's I would like to point out one in particular because I'm not going to get into all of the.
I know. I didn't even start this off with a proper introduction of you and your skills, but you are a trained nutritionist, a trained personal trainer, so you know all about this marriage of your body and your
Yes,
health.
and your health.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
I think you do.
Yeah, for the
you
most
don't?
part. No, I do.
Okay.
I do. But I mean, there's so like you can go so deep with this, but for our listeners' sake and for the sake
but
of
you
this
love
topic,
going deep. You go deep.
I'm not going to go deep this time. But I just think it's important to highlight
weeds.
these amino acids and leucine in particular. And you may
Yeah.
have even heard about leucine. Gabrielle Lyons does a whole podcast
Right.
on just leucine. And
What
why
is leucine?
So it's a branched chain amino acid.
Okay.
Okay. And it's part of those non-essential
Okay.
or those essential.
Right.
And it's the on switch.
Oh.
So like think about it as like for your muscles for you to create muscle protein synthesis, or for your body to be using that protein
Right.
efficiently to be making muscle, leucine is the most important amino acid.
And
to
where do you
that.
get leucine?
So you can get it in chicken, beef,
Wow.
eggs. Whey protein has it. Soy also has it. Those are probably the
Right.
most leucine rich. Like I do a whey protein shake because it has leucine in it.
Wow.
But I also supplement with amino acids,
Acids, yeah.
after my
Right.
workouts. But yeah, it helps to regulate your blood sugar, which is why it's kind of known for its like weight loss or weight management
Oh.
effects.
Right.
So they say, the experts say that if you don't get 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in each meal, then you won't get the benefit of that muscle protein. Like it won't hit peak levels. You'll still get it, but you won't maximize the benefit
Wow.
of
Why
it.
aren't people talking more about that? That seems like
They
a
are.
missing piece.
I
They
mean,
are?
yeah.
Oh.
I mean, people I listen to are talking about it. Maybe not.
Clearly,
People
our
you listen-
Instagram feeds are different.
Yeah.
That's very funny. So you can supplement.
Yeah, you
the
can
amino acids,
supplement.
yeah.
The one that I use has all the branch chain. It has leucine, isoleucine, valine, and those are good.
A lot of enes.
A lot of enes, yeah. Well, that's how you know it's an amino acid. It ends in INE.
Oh.
Little trick
Look
for
at
you.
that.
Little trick. But I think that it's good also for people if you feel like you're not hitting your protein goals during the day.
Yeah.
Supplementing with that is fine. If you're someone who works out in a fasted state, which we don't really
I
recommend.
know you don't like to do that.
Don't
I
like
do that. So I do that
for
sometimes.
women in midlife, but that's another topic. But
Yeah.
I think that if you just want to recover better and faster and be less
Right.
sore, that's kind of how I use it. Sometimes I'll forget to take it and I'll just take it during the day because it still has benefits for you.
But it has
not
the
just for
most
post-
benefits before,
Yeah,
after a workout.
different benefits after a
After
workout,
workout,
within
not
that
before.
right within that 30-minute.
What if you
window.
take it before?
You
It
can.
doesn't have any.
It does. You're still going to have it in your
Oh.
system depending on the type of workout you do, the type of
Right.
exercise you do. But yeah, so that's amino acids, and now I won't talk about that anymore until maybe in a few minutes. Just saying,
Just saying.
it's important to know.
It is.
Right?
It
Like,
is. It
okay.
is. I am constantly asking you, like, I have all these, you joke with me, like, I take all of these supplements.
And you don't know what any of
mostly
them
I
do.
take them because you take them.
Yes.
I'm a total single white female copying you. I'm like, oh, if Jen's taking creatine, I will take it too. And not realizing that I'm totally taking it in the wrong way. As
Right.
you've pointed out to me a couple of times.
Yes. Well, no, it has other benefits, like I
Yes.
mentioned. It definitely has
Yes.
other benefits other than just
Yes.
boosting your energy.
But I
levels.
realized when I asked you about it, I wanted, because I think also creatine's having a little bit of a moment.
definitely.
To
I
digress
think
a little
that's
bit.
another topic we can do a separate
we could talk
podcast
a
about.
separate. Yeah, but that I was taking it no matter whether I worked out or not, and now I really only take it right before I work out.
Good.
Is that the right way?
That's good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's how you should take it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it gives you more energy during your workout? A little
I
boost?
don't know.
Not
I don't
yet?
think I've done it enough that way
Okay.
to know it.
Yeah. You
but
will. You
I will
should see
keep
a
you
difference.
posted
Yeah.
on
Let
that.
me know.
Yeah.
Curious. But back to protein.
Okay. All right, so
God.
let's go from all that sciencey stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and let's just talk about what people really want to know: weight loss, and how does
How to lose fat.
protein relate to weight loss?
Mm-hmm. So it's super effective because we know it keeps us full longer, and it helps you. Because it's harder to break down versus carbohydrates,
Right.
right? It burns more calories during digestion, so that's your thermal effect of food. So
Right.
anytime you see that TEF you may not see that.
I was going to say,
In your
do you know
reading.
that she just says things to me? And the teacher in Charlie Brown? Is that how you're feeling right now listening to this? It's like, wah, 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 wah.
TEF is the
This is what you
thermal
want to
effect
know.
of food.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So that's how it's burning your calories.
That's right. So
Oh,
when
baby.
there's something like protein or fiber or things that are harder for your body to break
Yes.
down, you're actually burning calories in the process of breaking those
so
down and
that's,
digesting
That's like
them.
way back in the olden days, they said to eat celery because it's actually negative calories.
Negative calories, right? Kind of like that. Yes. But
Just
it
adding a little
also-
levity to our protein
Yeah.
discussion.
It protects your lean muscle mass.
Yeah.
So if you're losing weight, you're
Yeah.
most likely in a calorie deficit, right?
Yeah.
So it protects that lean muscle when you're in that calorie deficit. So it keeps your metabolism higher.
Okay.
So that's kind of in a
Right.
nutshell.
That's why it's so important when, like, it's no secret, I've been on this GLP-1 for a long time, and a long time, like a little over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And that when I first started this, you were like, you must work out, you must build your muscle because your body isn't differentiating what it's losing. It's losing everything.
And
not just fat.
Whether you're on a GLP-1 or you're just losing weight.
Weight.
You know, that's the same thing. Your body doesn't discriminate. So it loses
Right.
muscle, bone, and
Right.
fat.
Right.
And you want to maintain that muscle and bone as best you can. And
Right.
obviously the goal is to lose the fat. So.
Right. So let's talk about gaining muscle by eating protein, right?
So that's super important, right? It's like the weightlifting is kind of the stimulus, and the protein is what is like the building material for that. So like think about like if you're building a house, like it's the layers of bricks,
Right.
right?
Right.
So the lifting part, the strength training is the stimulus for that. And without enough protein, your gains from weight training will be very limited.
Oh.
So you really need that.
And is it, I mean, I know you said it's for another day, but like eating protein, like if you were just going to eat a small thing before your workout, like I find it very difficult to eat a lot before I work out. I think I've been used to a long time of working out in a fasted state. So now so is it better to have like a piece of cheese, like a spoonful of cottage cheese, like something like that, even though it's really small, just to get some little protein
Just to
in your
have
stomach?
something that your body switches you out of that catabolic state.
right.
So yeah, like a little yogurt.
Right.
You know, it could even be a piece of toast with peanut butter on it or
Right.
something
Right.
like that, or a banana with peanut butter on it.
Yeah.
Depending on, you know, I know some people don't like to have some, you know, a heavy
Right.
breakfast before
Right.
they work out.
Right.
So something like that, just to kind of keep that your energy level up and to maximize your strength training. And the creatine helps too. It's giving
Yeah.
you that energy boost. Yeah.
Huh. All right. So now everybody hears like you're supposed to eat like 100 grams of protein a day, and that sounds like an astronomical amount
it
and
does.
a lot of food.
It does.
So how do you figure out how to break that up? Because I think when you break it up, it's a little bit doable.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, again, like 30 grams is kind of that target number, that sweet spot. I'd say between 25 and 30 grams per meal. You could even go up to 40 grams if you're heavy weight training.
Right.
But it has to be like high quality protein,
Yeah.
you know? So
that's the hard part.
yeah, you've got to make sure that, again, you know that calculation now for protein dense
Right.
foods. So
I find lunch to be a difficult. That middle
Is a
meal
hard
is
one?
a hard one. Like breakfast is easy. Like breakfast, all you eat is protein. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
cottage
yeah.
cheese, eggs.
True.
Like, you know, well, I have this oatmeal, but we'll ask about that in a minute. Like products that say that they have that,
Yeah.
and like dinner, it's easy to like have a piece of fish or chicken or
Right,
something
right.
that you physically look at and you know that is a certain amount of protein. But the lunch
It's hard.
It's hard because
Yeah.
it's a sandwich, a salad. It's like sometimes it's like you really have to have like 2 dinners or 2 breakfasts.
Yeah, because
right?
you definitely don't want to like save it all for your dinner. You want to,
Right.
and there's different. We can get into protein timing and
Right.
activity levels and that kind of thing. But I think personally that if you get it in and you spread it across as much as you can
Right.
across your day, spreading it out evenly,
Right.
that way you're going to hit that leucine threshold every single time,
Right.
right? So
You have to hit that threshold every single time that you eat protein.
you should. 2 to 3
Wow.
grams, 2.5 to 3 grams
Wow.
of it. But it's not hard if you're eating,
Yeah.
especially if you're eating animal protein.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. There's
Mm-hmm.
different ways. Like if you're, a vegan or like you really only eat fish,
Mm-hmm. Right,
and
right.
vegetables. Like how do the 2 protein sources compare, animal versus plant?
So, I mean, the animal sources tend to have more of your essential amino acids. That's where you're going to get your leucine. Again,
Uh-huh. Right.
I'm going to keep saying that.
Yeah.
But, vegans or people that are just plant-based could combine things to get their protein. Like that's why rice and beans is a thing because you
Oh,
combine them.
funny. Yeah.
So they're complementary and makes a
Protein
complete
and rice?
rice and beans.
Oh, yeah. 'cause
Rice
the
and beans.
beans.
So the
Yeah,
beans
yeah.
have the
Have the protein,
and rice
yeah.
has protein. So you combine those and you get a complete
Right.
protein. And it used to be a myth like, oh, you have to combine this and that if you're
Oh, yeah.
but because they've now found that
Yeah.
soy products, tofu, edamame, those are complete plant proteins. So you can just have that.
Wow.
You don't need to combine your tofu with
Right.
beans or whatever. And
So you just eat the
quinoa.
beans. I was
Quinoa
going to
is
say
great.
quinoa is
That's
great.
like I think that's the only
Yes.
grain that's a source
Full-
of protein.
I
full
think
protein.
that you're right. Even I know that.
Yeah.
Even
See?
I've heard that. Huh. See, look.
You heard something.
Not just the dum-dum in this podcast. Know something. So take that.
You know things. You know things.
I know things. I
Yeah.
know things.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's talk about I mean, my birthday is around the corner.
It is around the corner. You want
Days
to
away.
talk about aging?
Yes, and how much, like, should I be eating as I age? Because I'm, as you constantly remind me, that much older than you. Should I be eating more protein?
You should have a whole cow
and
every day.
And also, if I weigh more than you, which I think is clear, and not tons and tons, and I'm not talking about like, 100-pound difference,
Right.
But should I be eating more protein because I have more body? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you're
Is
saying.
that a question?
Yeah, it's a question. If
Is it a bad question?
No, not at all. I mean, overall, somebody who weighs more is going to require more calories, right? So as you lose weight, you require less calories, which is why there's always that sort of plateau point for people pre-GLP-1s,
that's
where you hit that plateau because you can't sustain that level of caloric deficiency.
Oh, that's
so
interesting.
I think that I think more importantly is your level of activity, and strength training would more so dictate how much protein. And as just an older, as we're aging, more muscle means you're more mobile. Right. You have stronger bones. You have a lower risk of falling. And we've talked about that before. Like that's the number one cause of death.
I know.
Falling. Because of the things that happen after you fall.
Yeah.
And then, you have better blood glucose control. But I think combining protein plus the strength training is that's the ultimate strategy for aging.
To do. Yeah,
because it keeps you from getting frail.
I know.
And you just want to have as much muscle. And I'm not
such
talking about bulky, bulky muscles.
I know.
Which that's fine too.
Right.
But I'm just talking about building that lean because you lose it. We lose it as we age.
I know.
Everything decreases.
There's no.
We're losing estrogen, as women.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's just this. It really is like that fear, especially as you get older. About falling and knowing the afterwards of the fall,
Yeah.
I mean, I was down in the basement of my building the other day, trying to do some cleaning. That is also for another podcast.
It's another
podcast
day as well.
But I picked up a box, first of all, that was like a little too heavy it was kind of awkward. And I fell, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
You did?
I was like all by myself in the basement of my building.
Do I have to get you one of those necklaces?
Yes,
that you
that's
press
like,
the button?
hey, I've fallen and I can't get up. I almost felt like that, but to my credit, bounced back. I did not hurt myself.
Stronger core
thought
challenge.
I did. Yep.
Also helping
That's
you.
right. I mean, I guess I could tell the story again about how I was in the park and saw this group of women. And some dogs got into a little scuffle, and they were trying to separate the dogs, and one woman fell down and she couldn't get up. And all I could think about was this core challenge that we're doing and how important it is to, and even if you think you have a strong core, guess what? You don't. You don't.
You quickly find that out when you fall down.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because it's like how to get up. And that's what all of those challenges, of like putting on your shoes, all those things that we've tried to do, you realize how weak you are.
Oh my gosh. And and it's not just like if you are a novice to exercise either.
No.
It's I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was doing a workout, and the exercise was to go from your knees and jump to your feet.
Okay.
And that uses so much, it uses a lot of mobility as well, but your core. I had a hard time. I mean, I did it, but I didn't do it as gracefully as I would have liked. So
you were training yourself in this exercise?
Yes, training myself. So
you said, no, 5 more. Training myself.
Well, it was something that I've been trying to do. Kind of like the sit down, stand up, crossing your legs and do that.
I know. I have to keep practicing that.
I can do, but it's this one that you're on your knees and then you
jump up.
Jump up to your feet. Very difficult.
We may be trying that in a video coming to you very soon.
Maybe. We'll see. I got to get it down better. My hip keeps going out on me here.
Wow. All right. Well, that was a little tangent.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So back to protein, eating it, eating the right amounts. What about when you eat it?
When you eat it. So the timing is kind of could go either way. It's like it used to be that you have this anabolic window of 30 minutes post-workout, which I still kind of
you adhere to?
I do kind
Is
of
that
adhere
like
to that.
old wives' tale, like don't eat before you go swimming, or it's a real
No,
truth?
no. It's not like that, but it's just kind of been, a lot of other research has come out that says that if you get a sufficient amount throughout the day, you're still going to get that, lean muscle growth.
Right.
But I don't know, something that you learn when you're like
Yeah.
in school and I always
Yeah.
hear like, 30 minutes. So I try to do that. But I think even
So you
distribution
try
is
to
okay.
have some protein within 30 minutes after your workout.
Yeah.
Even if it's like 5 minutes later.
So, I mean, it's usually the amino acid drink, the amino acid supplement. But, like we were saying before, like spreading it out, not saving it all for dinner.
Right.
Try to find ways to get, you said lunch was a challenge. Try to find ways to like
I know.
throw, a yogurt or a cottage cheese in with your lunch. You could even do like, even if you did like a salad that had like grilled chicken on it, you could put cottage cheese on that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I have a hard time with vegetables. I've tried to add them in. Like I have a bag of kale right now in my fridge that I have not eaten, and I probably won't. And that was my attempt. I was like, all right. I used to have it all the time.
I know. Why? I wonder
I don't know. I feel like,
Do you
I
think
have
the drugs?
noticed. I feel like with the drugs sometimes I get a little bit on like a jag of what I want to eat.
Is it
like,
because you just don't like have the appetite for anything specific?
Yes. It's very, when you're on these drugs, you feel hunger, so you're hungry, but then you have to decide what to eat. And that decision, like sitting in a restaurant,
Yeah.
I never know what I want to eat.
Yeah.
I never know what I want to eat.
Because you don't want to get
because I don't really want
something you don't like.
anything. And yes. And I know that within a little bit of time, I'm going to be full and I won't want to eat more of it or if I want to have ice cream after. I want to save room for the ice cream.
Save room for the ice cream.
Gotta have room for dessert.
Oh God! But
Right
yeah,
this
I mean,
way.
and that's okay
Yeah,
too.
but I'm saying that I have a hard time incorporating
vegetables,
and
you just have to do it.
Fibers, and you just have to do it.
The fiber and the carbs are so important.
I know.
Even like post exercise too, because it helps with delayed onset muscle soreness.
Right. So does that mean I'm doing myself a disservice? I have a protein supplement and a collagen supplement in my coffee every morning. I put them in my coffee.
Okay.
But that's like first thing. That's like even I'm having it before I even eat anything. So is that, am I doing myself a disservice by adding those before? Like, should I be sprinkling the fiber in some other, like it's a powder, so it's like you want to have it in something.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine.
But
I
it's
think
fine
having
to have it like first thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, you always want to think about combining, right? You want to combine your protein with your carbs and your fiber. You ideally would want to eat them together. If you're getting them in, you're still getting them in.
Right.
You're still, doing good for your microbiome and that kind of thing. But, the carbs replenish your glycogen, right? That's what we run on. That's what how we get our energy. And then fiber supports your gut health, and that helps to slow digestion.
Yeah.
So, and again, like this, it's sort of, I don't want to say it doesn't apply to you, but being on GLP-1, these things are kind of different.
They're like out of whack a little bit.
They're a little bit out of whack because your sense of appetite and satiety are different.
Yeah.
But I do still think that those are good things. It's a good practice to have in general because they stabilize your blood sugar, right? And that's kind of what the GLP-1s are doing as well. But why not give them a little help, right? And the carbohydrates help to just send that protein to where it needs to go.
Right. All right. Now, I didn't know this. You have me worrying about this, but I didn't know this. Like people worry about kidney damage from eating too much protein.
People do, but I think that it's such a myth. I think that it's like so overhyped. That's another kind of old school philosophy is that, you're going to overload your kidneys. And it's like, no, unless you have existing kidney disease or you've had a kidney transplant or something, then you kind of have to worry about that detoxification process.
Wow.
But otherwise, in healthy people, no, I don't think it's anything you have to worry about.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about like these foods. Like in my house right now, I have a oatmeal that says it's adding 11 grams of protein. I have a chocolate pudding, which I keep meaning to ask you to look at. Okay. That says it has 17 grams.
Okay.
And it doesn't taste amazing, but it tastes good enough to be like something sweet.
Okay.
It does have added sugar in it. That I'm sure you're gonna. I'm sure. I think maybe I haven't showed it to her because she's gonna be like, nope, don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of, there's coming out with like seltzers with added protein. There's like everything has supposedly protein added to it. So what is the deal? Like, are those worth it?
No.
Yeah,
I don't
knew you
think
were gonna
so.
say that.
No, they're not. Like if it makes you feel better to have that and get a little, but it's not enough to trigger that muscle protein synthesis.
Right.
So usually they have between 5 and 10. I have to look at this thing. You said has 17, but between 5 and 10. And then if it has more, it's usually from a lower quality source and it usually adds sugar.
Right.
Right. So.
But you approved the oatmeal. You like the oatmeal.
The oatmeal was good. I mean, it definitely had added sugar in it, but I didn't mind it. I liked that.
Yeah.
But
I really have to. You have to eat real foods.
You have to eat real foods.
Yeah. I mean, that's why. I mean, like we have a bar sometimes that has 20 grams. You want to go to this?
Yeah.
And
and the bar, and that's okay too. I mean, every once in a while, like again, you don't want to rely on that for your, but it helps to contribute to that total number of protein for sure. Those bars have 20 grams. Yeah,
I know,
and they have like no sugar.
I know, that's incredible to me.
And then they're
bars.
delicious.
And they are delicious.
They're so good.
Yeah.
But most of like these protein fortified, like the seltzers, and I haven't tried them. I haven't tried the seltzers or the cereals or anything. Again, it's just not enough, and the quality is
a lot of those cereal. I mean, look, I probably like those things because of the added sugar.
Yeah,
I definitely have a sweet tooth, so
sure.
That's So, what about like? Are there like snacks and things like that you could add in? Like, if let's say you only get 10 grams of protein at breakfast, and you want to have, then you have a bar, then lunch also
I mean,
are there like things that you go to that?
I mean, if it's a snack, like if I don't have available to me,
like a hard boiled egg,
or cottage cheese or something like that, then I will have a shake or I'll have a bar, and that will kind of bridge that gap to help me kind of feel full, rather than just like eating an apple.
What do you look for in a protein? Like, look, we've had a lot of protein shakes in our day.
Yeah.
Is there something that you look for in an ingredient that is like, okay, this is a good one rather than like this? And I'm not calling anybody out. Yeah. But is there something you really look for?
I mean, I look for those amino acids. I look for that amino acid profile. Does it have the branched chain amino acids? Does it have leucine, isoleucine, valine? Is it a whey protein? Whey protein is just, I think...
A whey protein is better than a vegan one, which is pea protein, right?
If you're not vegan, you don't need to have a shake that's pea protein. It's
what if,
fine.
like, some people say, like, the whey bothers
their stomach, because it's dairy based.
Yeah.
Then you could certainly have the plant based one, and then just add your amino acids in other ways. But yeah, I think those little protein boosts I think are okay. But again, like staying away from those fortified foods, or relying on them, I should say, as your protein.
Yeah, we're thinking
source.
like, I didn't get enough protein today. I'm going to have one of these chocolate puddings.
Right. Some of them
have you seen?
have.
I know. You know what they have is. I mean, talk about cottage cheese for a minute. Having them like. Cottage cheese is in its like heyday.
I know.
Because
it's like 1970 again.
It is. I know. Like we were just talking about this on the show. Where like lunch was a half a cantaloupe and a scoop of cottage cheese.
My mom
and that was your
that.
lunch. My mom had that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That was like your be-all,
or a grapefruit or something like that. Yeah.
Oh my God. Remember those grapefruit spoons?
With the edges, yeah, I do.
No one uses those anymore.
Yeah, you just
Whatever
take
happened to those?
The sections of the grapefruit out.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's just so crazy. But there's an ice cream made of cottage cheese.
No way.
Yeah,
I have not seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
We tasted it at one of these events we went to. I don't think you were with me. I think Rainey was with me. And we tasted it, and it was okay.
It was good? Okay.
Yeah.
I would try that.
Yeah.
I would try that. Well, there are some of these fortified ones that use collagen as the protein source. But again, they don't have enough of those essential amino acids to have any sort of benefit. So, yeah.
Oh, so we did that. All right. So now, if you're strength training, which I have been, I mean, we've been doing this program that this woman is like tough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's hard. Like, I don't look forward to the glute and hamstring days because they are
tough.
Very hard. And I'm kind of suffering through it.
Yeah.
But how does that affect how much protein that you need if you are like lifting? And I'm putting quotations up, lifting. What I do is not lifting, but it is.
It is, sure. It
Yeah.
certainly is.
Yeah.
It certainly is. Yeah,
Yeah.
strength training is lifting.
Yeah.
I think, you'll definitely benefit from getting a little bit more protein,
Right.
going towards that higher end, maybe that 2.2 grams or something like that. And then, again, spacing it out. And I think what people have to understand, there's all this hype about protein, and everyone's talking about it, and everyone's getting 100 grams.
Yeah.
Guess what? If you're not strength training,
It doesn't mean anything.
it means nothing. It doesn't
Wow.
magically produce. Protein does not magically produce lean muscle unless you are exercising.
Wow.
So it needs a stimulus. It needs that stimulation.
Now, I never want you to go into the science, but I kind of do on this score.
Okay.
No, I mean, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's not on the paper, whatever, but so you eat the protein and then you pick up a weight and you start doing bicep curls. What is happening?
So you're sending a signal to tell that protein where to go, just like your brain. Think about, like, if I'm moving my hand like this, my brain is telling my hand to do
Right.
that. It's just not doing that on its own.
Right.
Right. So
Okay.
the lifting is telling the protein, hey, I need it for my muscles.
Because I'm
Because I'm lifting
holding
these
something
weights.
heavy.
Yes. Think about,
Yeah.
there's another kind of analogy. Like, think about, some people who run and they get an upset stomach when they
Yes.
run, or they have to go to the
Yes.
bathroom when they run,
Yes.
because you're diverting all of the attention, so to speak, all
Yeah.
of the digestive juices and the blood flow
To
and
your
all
legs
that
to
to
keep
your
going.
muscles to keep going. So
Wow.
your stomach is not part of that. They're like, okay.
So is that what would cue, like if I'm training for a marathon,
Mm-hmm.
is that what would cue me to be like, oh, I got to have Gatorade. I have to have one of those
your
goos.
body is
like my
telling
body's
you.
like, oh my God, you feel weak and bad.
Yes. And then that source, that nutrient source, knows where to go, knows where your
Okay.
muscles need it.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of magical.
It is in that way, but you have to
Yeah.
do the exercise. The
Yeah.
thing is that I will say with protein, so again, if you're just eating protein and you're eating it in excess and you're not exercising, your body is less likely to store that as fat
Yeah.
versus like carbohydrates and fat. It's
Yeah.
just not. It's just not where protein goes. When you consume more protein, then your body will use it. Usually, it gets converted to energy or just gets excreted.
Right.
It can
Yeah.
certainly
Right.
be stored as body fat,
Right.
but very little usually. It's more likely that if you have excess calories overall.
And so where does cardio fit into any of that?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think it's important. I think to stimulate your heart and to keep your cardiovascular system healthy. I think it's great. I told you I've been doing these little sprints, these treadmill sprints,
yeah.
just to keep my heart healthy, but also like to get my HRV to be higher.
Right.
Right. That's your heart rate variability.
Yeah.
So
Something I will never understand, by the way.
Oh my God! I thought you understood it the last time.
I kind of understood it. I understand it a little bit, but it's
You want it to
I
be
know
higher
it's how
because it's the
fast. Let's see if I can explain
Okay.
it. Look at you. You're already like,
No.
so this is it. This is now. She's like, this will prove if you listen to me at all, which I know you don't, but it's going to prove if I've listened to anything she said in the last 2 years on this podcast.
can't wait.
Can't wait. It is how fast your heart recovers in between beats.
Yes, pretty much. Pretty much. It's that recovery time. Yes. I'm going to just leave it at that. Yes, very good job. Very good job.
I'm being pat on the back by
Yes,
myself,
yes.
not my friend.
When you are lifting weights on those days,
I mean, and how important are rest days in those?
super important.
Yeah.
So recovery happens up to 48 hours
Oh, I see.
after lifting. So again, if you think about your protein over time,
Right.
and not just one day, like think about your weekly total even, right? Because
Yeah.
you want that. That's when you are,
Yeah.
that's when the protein is kind of doing its job. When
Right.
you are at rest, that's when your muscles are building and they're
Right.
breaking down and repairing, breaking down and repairing. So that repair is happening within that 24 to 48
So, like, for
hour
instance,
span.
today, I took a rest day. Like, I'm sore. My arms are sore. And I mean, so I took a rest day, but it's okay that I took a rest day.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I think also just listening to your body.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
and knowing when
Also dreading the leg workout
when
that I had to do today. I was
but
like,
also recognize that are you just dreading it or are you really tired?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
important.
today I didn't have time, and then I was like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Now, you are still perimenopausal, still for years
So
now.
crazy.
I
I'm like
am.
stuck in perimenopause.
You are stuck in perimenopause. I, as we know, are on the other side,
right.
postmenopausal. How much does that affect protein? How important is your protein intake, and how does that affect all that?
Yeah, it affects it a lot because we are losing estrogen as we age and get into menopause. That's going to accelerate your muscle loss. It's
Right.
going to accelerate your fat gain. You know,
Right.
women always talk about,
That
oh,
middle.
all of a sudden I have a middle. I never
know.
had that before. It's that redistribution of fat is happening because of that drop in
Right.
estrogen. And it affects your bone density.
Yeah.
So again, higher the protein paired with resistance training, it's going to directly affect all of those things.
Right. Wow.
So that's in a nutshell for menopausal women why it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And people just don't really get that.
No, I know.
It is funny. You know, I mean, like, just to digress for a second on us and this podcast and all the things that we've learned here, and that's not what this episode is about, but it just makes me think so differently when I go to the doctor or I hear what they say or how I think about my own nutrition or my own exercise. It has literally changed the way I try to sleep, how to move, what I do.
Doesn't
to
it
move.
also make you like ask different questions when you
Yes.
are at the doctor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
You know, you just want to, and sometimes the answers they give are not good enough for you.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of,
Yeah, because
So-
you almost know
Yeah.
better.
yeah. So if you
So-
want to learn more, go back and listen to one
All
of
our
our
podcasts.
100 and something episodes of it. What should menopausal women, I should say menopausal, that's not really even right?
I know. I guess it's not. It's like midlife.
Midlife
Yeah.
women, what's the best thing for them to be eating?
Well, if you eat animal protein, you know, chicken, fish, beef, anything
Wanna make
lean,
sure
you
it's
know,
lean.
lean
Yeah.
red meat.
Yeah.
Dairy and whey. You know, dairy is a bonus
Yeah.
because you get the calcium for your
Right.
bones. Chia seeds, hemp seeds, nuts,
Right.
kale, broccoli. Those are all great, like nutrient dense foods for people who are plant based. You know, like I said before, soy.
Yeah.
You can do pea protein, quinoa, lentils.
Right.
Tofu is
Is-
good.
This is also a random question, but like collagen, does collagen count as going towards that calcium? No, that's two different. I know it's two different things.
It's two
but
different things.
Why do I
but
associate the two
because
together?
the collagen, certain collagens will help build bone. Certain collagens will be more geared towards skin
I see.
and hair and nails,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So you have to look at the different sources of
Ah.
collagen that you're using.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, so let's to sum up.
Want to wrap it up here?
Well,
Let's wrap
I
it
mean,
up.
I could talk more, but I
No,
think we've come
I
to
think
the end.
We've come to the end of the
What's on that
protein
page?
conversation. Yeah.
It's a blank page. So yeah. So what are the takeaways here?
All right. So I think that, you know, looking at your age, looking at your goals, looking at health span and maximizing
Right.
your energy levels and your lean muscle mass, all of those things. I think protein, you know, along with carbs and fiber,
Carbs and
fat
fiber,
and healthy
yeah.
fat, those all. But
Yeah.
you know, we're just talking about protein today. You know, looking at 1.2 to 2.2 grams per kilogram.
Right.
Again, looking at your exercise
Yeah.
level, your
Right.
you know, looking at how much time you're spending lifting
Right.
weights versus your cardio, all of those things. But essentially, 30-ish grams of protein per meal
Right.
is kind of the gold standard. Spread across, you know, 3 to 4 meals
Right.
ideally, but if you have to spread it out more than that, and you want it from those leucine-rich sources, those animal proteins that we talked about,
Yeah.
paired with strength training, and that is kind of the trifecta for
Wow.
muscle, for metabolism, and for longevity.
Living longer. Yeah.
living longer better,
All right.
not just
well,
living longer.
I don't think that I don't think that we've left anything out on protein.
I think we got most of it in there. Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
But if you have any questions about it or
Yeah.
you need help, if you're a midlife woman,
Right.
you can come and join our wellness group.
Correct.
We talk about all of these things
Yes.
and we try
Ad
to help.
nauseum, we talk about all these things over and over again.
Yep.
And yeah, you can certainly join us. You could reach out and reach out to Jen.
You could work with me one-on-one if you want.
That's right.
Yeah.
You could have all this knowledge that I have right at my fingertips
That she doesn't listen
that
to.
I don't listen to and sometimes don't get. Sometimes there's a text and there's no answer for days. The health question. Anyway.
That's not true.
I,
Not with a health question. I'm pretty quick to respond.
You
on
are
that.
pretty quick to respond to
Yeah.
that. All right. You're
I mean,
forgiven.
yeah.
Anyway, we hope you got something out of this. Another nutrition question of 2025. It's what everybody's talking about. We are Everybody Talks. I'm Lori Schulweiss.
And I'm Jen Giamo.
Have a great day.
For more information about our podcast, to learn more about us, or to catch up on all of our episodes, go to our website at everybodytalkspodcast.com.
Follow us on Instagram at Shirley, at Jen Giamo, and at Everybody Talks. And if you want to watch today's episode, go to our YouTube channel at Everybody Talks Podcast.
If you want to be a part of the conversation, join the Everybody Talks community and become an exclusive member of our wellness group. Check out the link in our show notes to learn more.
Don't forget, if you like what you've heard, give us a 5-star rating, write a review, and tell a friend. We're for everybody and everybody. The Everybody Talks podcast is co-created, executive produced, and hosted by us, Lori Schulweiss and Jen Giamo. Produced and edited by Station 16.
Our theme song music is written and performed by Jackie Ryle and Aaron Navisi, with additional support from our pups, Oliver, Milo, Murray, and Frankie.
Talk to you next time.